of the council. And even the fundamental misunderstanding of control and governance is extremely concerning, because we have ultimate control. The police department is a Kansas City municipality by charter and by state law. By state law, they're required to enforce all of the laws of the states and all of the ordinances of the city. No ifs, ands, or buts in there. When it comes to governance, all of the commissioners are from where? They live here. They live in Kansas City, and the mayor sits on the board. The senators from Kansas City, when we have senators from Kansas City, would be the stopgap on who actually sits on the board. So when we talk about the lack there of people from inner city areas sitting on the board, you should be talking to your senators and why they aren't forcing the issue with the governor. Because the governor doesn't pick people out of a silo. They go to the Senate because the governor needs senators for any appointee, right? So we have leverage all across the board, even if we want to change the policy. So far, we've been in this committee meeting, what time is it? 56 minutes, talking about a resolution that at the end of the day, by definition of a resolution, does nothing. So we wasted an hour when we could have actually been wasting an hour talking about how we're going to adjust the way that we fund PD to get the type of policing and results that we want. We can even tie arrest records and ratios. And another thing that we haven't talked about is the prosecutor's office. Because when we have issues with criminality, it's beyond governance. And again, I'm just doing this for COA to make sure people know where I'm at. And I'm going to go back to Chris Carter and Senator Jamila Nasheed, because they're the only two people that live in the city that was similar to ours, that didn't have control and governance. And as soon as they got it, and Senator Jamila Nasheed, people say, I'm pro-black. She's extremely pro-black. Scarves on her head and the whole nine. And she's like, oh, this is bad for us. And I feel that this would be bad for us in just what I've observed. One, police said they're going to sue the entity that does their budget, and then we cowered. I can only imagine the political influence if we brung, and this has nothing to do with you, Mr. Mayor, so don't take it personal, but I can only imagine the type of influence that they would have underneath the mayor's office, and again, not talking about you, but up underneath the mayor's office that would be afraid to create any type of opposition against policing, police enforcement, police practices, et cetera.
Thank you, Councilman Ellington. Councilwoman